2 days of the Locust, a Nathaniel West phantasmagoria, truly representative government. Our leaders are just us. To see them as far or distant or special is just a cop-out, a way of escaping responsibility. The 2 days of Democratic debates reflected my outer experience, what I have seen of this American life. What I have seen is I've crawled like an ant across the vast American tableau and reflected my inner experience, which was a ball of confusion, not certain of what I am, or more precisely, how to exist as what I am. A practical matter, not a spiritual one. Only clear about what I am not. I hate being an entrepreneur, which works because I am decidedly not one. All the selling and self-promotion. I could never be on the political stage. I am too weak and sensitive for that chaotic scrum. I'm of no use to anyone. After I spoke at the Bughouse Square open soapbox, people thanked me, and I wondered why. I think I may understand. An artist is no genius, no lawyer, no politician, no teacher, no expert. An artist is an innocent, naive human, an infant, a little baby, helpless and overwhelmed, who somehow finds the courage to go outside and look and take the blows and hugs and kisses and is blessed. And it is a blessing. It is not something worked for, earned, or developed. It's a matter of grace and a curse from a practical point of view. How I wish I were an accountant or a hack writer on a dumbass TV show. Not everyone can be an artist. Everyone has the first prerequisite, human experience, but not everyone has the gift of communicating what they've learned. And that is what art, communicating what one has learned from human experience to other people. So the people at Bughouse Square thanked me because I was their equal, no better or worse. And I talked to them about what we're going through. It may have instructed them, helped them make sense of things, but more so it comforted them. They felt the warmth of being perceived and talked to as humans, above the cacophony of business, status, money, and power. A Nathaniel West phantasmagoria, a Where's Waldo mural illustrated by R. Crumb, an orgy of sex, race, and blood, ambition, insecurity, fierce chaos, the early 2019 Democratic debates, a country, a party, a group of rivals, trying to figure out who they are. And that's art, but they're not artists. They should listen to artists, but they're too busy. You should listen to artists, but you are too busy. And all refusing to let go of nothing, because the world has changed. They relate only to a memory. The craziness of the old, dementedly listening to music that most people aren't aware of anymore, insisting that the past is present, supposedly front-running, ridiculously atop a human pyramid, smiling and giving orders that are impossible to fulfill. Ideologues who have a worldview which gives them acute powers of critique, but also limits them to rigid solutions that don't adapt to reality. Their point of view is not reality, which is ever in a state of reconfiguration on an eternal ground. A woman of color struggles to own her ambition and fiercely and unapologetically fight for her moment in the sun, alternately shining and stumbling, still emerging in the personal recovery that has just begun, modeling herself on white men and politicians who wanted a certain kind of rancid power. A brittle woman seeking revenge on men who have abused her and failing to get it, just as she unconsciously wants it, masochistically applying pressure to her delicious wound. A cult member, an entrepreneur who believes that modern business will save him and us, a business that understands technology and changes in the economy and demographics and culture, a guy who gets the numbers, a guy who clearly sees many of the pieces, but doesn't get the whole thing. Important details, but not leadership. A popular apostle of self-help spirituality who understands love in the darkness of its absence, but is compromised by commercial entertainment and is a gadfly, not a serious alternative, because her mysticism is not grounded in any worldly and concrete ability. Not a lawyer, not a teacher, not a business person, and not a writer or an artist, not really. A saleswoman with a good heart and a facility to make money and get over. Not horrible, not enough. Faceless white men on progressive karaoke night, on a lark, trying stuff out, not belonging. And finally, a woman, the anima, a lawyer, teacher, politician, writer, artist, a person full of coherent purpose who knows herself and knows the world and understands her own and the world's constant transformation, constancy and change, the Tao of politics, the culture and the technology, the statistics and the personal, who has spent a lifetime exploring herself and the world and is ready and confident, the one with the plan and the understanding of what it takes to make it a reality. She knows the change that the soul of America is struggling with at the moment, its real dangers and extraordinary opportunities. It remains to be seen if her cream will rise to the top. All of the other candidates are aspects of the rich, paradoxical, and contradictory American mind. They are natural. But the artist has the major task of understanding it all and finding meaning for himself and then sharing what he found with others, not as a guru or with tips for their success, but as something for them to look at and reflect upon and review and allow to resonate and not resonate and to feel that which is universal and apply to the shifting point of their transforming lives. I had a dream about Elizabeth Warren the other night. She was walking up the steps of a campaign bus, and a tall South Asian man, handsome, with a handlebar mustache, came up behind her and placed his hands on her hips and told her that he loved her. And she reacted more as a Kate McKinnon impression of her than as herself. She was goofy, surprised, and flattered. And I enjoyed myself as I dreamed. I felt the ease of unself-conscious life in motion. And I understand what the dream means this morning for America and me. Beyond the chaos of the panic, fear, ambition, self-justification, jealous clutching at methods and attitudes to feel safe, and the folly of proving to others, proving to self, the performing, pretending, persuading. Beyond all of that is courage, coherence, compassion, integrity, and competence. The Big Bang Theory, the dawn of man, emerging from the filth and the muck below. The melee of America, the riot of my mind, within the mobs of real people and Jungian archetypes, is a prophet who will build an ark and save me and America from the flood. People like to romanticize the creative process. They like to think of the idyllic contemplation of Emily Dickinson, the hermit with her quills, or Churchill, the man of actions with his paint and easel. But the creative process is a bloody mess, exciting insemination, satisfying gestation, uncomfortable fullness, hours of agonizingly painful separation, and finally new life and joy. And through it all, nothing is guaranteed. And sometimes everybody dies. Hope is not optimism. Hope is courageously working toward what makes you the best, what makes the best in you real, with full knowledge that you may not survive. I choose joy and love, even as an undercurrent of the moments of fear and anxiety, humble before the process of life, a process over which I have no control. But this morning, even that level of positivity was touch and go. I and the world can't change our nature, even if we wanted to, and we don't want to. It's our nature to make a big fucking mess for ourselves and then try to work our way out of it. Daredevil escape artists, thrill seekers, tightrope walkers, gunfighters, cheating death 1,000 times, ultimately and inevitably losing in the end, still worth it. Copyright 2019, Richard Thomas.